har vi Fluke som har varit här idag och jobbat med Torilsplans gymnasium, årskurs 2. Haft en workshop. De går programteknik med inriktning samhällsbygge och hållbarhet. Och de har varit här sedan klockan 10 och samskapat med Fluke som består av Tatiana Bodnar, även Nicole Arthur som är i Madrid, men till hjälp så har vi Sanda Tcacencu som ska berätta lite om processen, hur ni har gått tillväga. Det finns också ett fortsatt arbete här längre ner som ni kan titta på. Varsågod, jag ger micken till dig, Tatiana.
Hej, jag heter Tatiana och jag är från Fluke. Min svenska är inte så bra så jag ska byta till engelska kanske snart. Men idag har vi en workshop med hur mycket personer? 26 ungdomar från Tonårsstaden gymnasium. Så vi hade en jättecool workshop, använda Instagram. I'm going to switch to English now, but we pretty much had a workshop where they worked together to identify different concepts and themes throughout the city through Instagram. So what Fluke looks to create a more playful city and more playful ways to participate within the city and its co-creation. So we think that different groups need to be engaged in different ways, and we design workshops and experiences that allow people to pretty much participate in the way that they want to participate. So with this workshop, we asked Sanda. Sanda is working a lot in urban sustainability questions as a dancer at Fryshuset and many other things. But maybe you can explain just a bit of your experience with working in this process.
Yeah, so I have had some experience working with young people and youth in different contexts. As you mentioned, both through dance as a dance teacher, but also as a project leader in different projects, and as an urban planner, both for municipalities but also for the private sector. I've had the opportunity to work with young people but also other target groups, and I've always been interested in social sustainability and including as many as possible in the urban planning process from start to finish. So when this idea popped up about teens in the city, then I immediately jumped on board because it sounded super exciting. And also the way we did it is basically to get everybody involved through social media and find a way to do it that is fun and relevant for them. And as Tatiana was saying, we were looking through the different lenses or different concepts of how you can view a city. So some examples are, for example, placemaking. What does that mean? And how can you actually find examples of placemaking in the city? What is a nice place? What is a good place for you? Another example is smart city. What can we see today in Stockholm that are elements of the smart city? Also gentrification, urban resilience, concepts like that. So they were introduced, the youth from Torilsplans gymnasium were introduced to these concepts, and then they had to walk around the city and take pictures of different examples related to these concepts. And now they're in the back, so you can always go and talk to them and ask them about their experiences and see what they're doing now. They're creating this kind of monument together based on the pictures that they took, and also what they experienced, and we'll see what they create together. It's supposed to be one collective piece of work or piece of art representing their city through these concepts.
Yeah, and we wanted to engage them through a different way. So when we were designing this workshop, we thought that social media, well, actually, Nicole and I were walking around the city and like, okay, where are teens hanging out and what are they doing? And every time they were either kind of sitting and hanging out or they were on their phones. So we wanted to kind of take that as well, that obviously phones are a part of all of our lives, especially teens as well, but everyone's life is containing this. So we wanted to really play with that and pretty much bring this hybrid model that you could be within the city but also on social media. And with the images that you're produced on Instagram, we thought that that was a really interesting concept. Looking back now, maybe it would have been more interesting to pick something like TikTok or Snapchat because, I think Instagram is for older people like us. And
things are changing fast.
Exactly, things are changing fast. So that was really interesting to see. A few of them use Instagram regularly, but we also thought as well that they probably were using TikTok and Snapchat as well a bit more. But we also don't know so much about the features of that, so it makes it a bit hard.
Also, regarding the results at the end, we were actually positively surprised that all the teenagers, all the youth took part in this challenge and they did a really good job. And they actually found good examples of all these concepts, which are not so easy always to explain or to understand. But they definitely saw it through their own eyes and they put their own personal spin on it. So you can see the pictures. Some of them are like personal, where they're taking selfies in front of a restaurant or a storefront, where we talk about, for example, the design of the facade or of the building. And they made it their own. So
exactly.
I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did great. We were quite surprised, or we were just scared that someone was going to delete the Instagram account. And but no one did that, and that was great. And it went really well. And I think when we're designing, especially with youth and teens, and just any target group, we really need to think from what their perspective is, and really also engage them in the way that they want to be engaged, because not every single way of engagement is going to work for the same type of people, because we need many different methodologies. Yeah. So, and I think an interesting thing as well is that although we did a playful thing for youth, and play is usually often associated with youth and teenagers, play is for everyone, and you can make many different types of games that all get people involved within the co-creation of our city, especially in public space.
Definitely. And just finally, I think we can say that a hope we have after this workshop for the future is, first of all, if the Instagram account can stay, right? And then people can follow it and see what we've done today. But also maybe in the future, if we have other workshops, then we can follow the progress on the Instagram account. It's called Tonårsstaden. So you can follow it now as well if you want. Tonårsstaden. And that's the way you can follow the story that we've done today. But also, if this monument that we create today can live on somehow, that would also be amazing. If we could keep building on it, for example, and add more school classes or more high schools that would like to co-create and add to the monument, or something related to it.
Exactly. As kind of a permanent fixture that could be somewhere in public. Maybe it could also be in a less public place as well, like a museum or something like that. But I think we would really like to keep working on workshops like this and really engaging people in different manners. And I think it would be cool.
And also important for the youth to know that this will lead to something, that it's not just like a one-day thing and then their ideas and their views will be disregarded, but that we will continue using it somehow, or that it will stay there and for others to see.
And with participation, especially with youth, that's one thing, and participation with anyone. People need to be able to see how their participation resulted in something. They need to kind of be able to see their imprint in the thing that they co-create. So that's a really important part when you're discussing co-creation or co-design is, how can you really see these like red threads that are going through the design and people's imprints. So, Anything else?
No, I think that's good.
I just want to thank you so much, and I think this is so important also to see the process here, and that they're part of this discussion in some way, because there's a lot of times we talk about the kids and we talk about the city planning without including young people, and I think it's great also the way you work, very do-it-yourself, very like nearby. And when you do it, when you work together in that sense, you get a lot of discussion just coming up that might have been very difficult to get just interviewing people on the street. So I think it's a great way to get information about how young people feel while they're actually doing it. And sorry.
And I think it's a great way too to meet a lot of connections, because when we're co-designing and like co-creating a space, like the groups of people that you bring together and tie together is very important of what type of, I guess, design will be created. So when you do these more engaging types of participation methods, that's able to create, a more constant conversation instead of just a one-sided dialogue. So pretty much making that conversation varied in any way is, like, I think, very important to participation in the city in general.
Yeah, definitely. Some people are better at speaking, others are better at drawing or more visual. So yeah, as long as you can get everybody to kind of express themselves in different ways, then that would be awesome. And speaking of TikTok, that was one idea that like the next challenge should be, now they took pictures, but the next one should be to do like dance videos in every place instead, you know, making it even more challenging and fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys. And I'm going to give you a book that actually Tatiana gave to me, or the official cover, so you get it back. But it's a it's a book called Allborgarrätten, which talks about the right of owning your city. Like we have allemansrätten, but it's like
it's pretty much the thought that what if we had allemansrätten but in the city. And it's a very well-written book. He's an artist that actually lives in Stockholm. I think his name is Jan Rydan, and it's in both Swedish and English. And it's just incredibly well-written. And we actually in the workshop, we used a bit of a prompt from one of these, because they're very small, short, and very easy to understand.
Yes, and thank you so much, you guys over there, Torisbrans Gymnasium. Thank you for coming. Great work. And please have a look, see what they're doing.